This is the Westside Scout Hyper, the first collaborative product since the agreement was launched between Rogue Fitness and Louie Simmons of Westside Barbell. It's a foldable reverse hyper. Although they've been around for years, this is the cheapest and most compact reverse hyper. And the question is it as good as all the others? Hey guys, this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and today I'm talking about the Westside Scout Hyper from Rogue Fitness. Now I want to give you a little bit of a glimpse into the past of the Westside Scout Hyper, or just the Westside Reverse Hyper in general. Westside Reverse Hyper was started by Louie Simmons of Westside Barbell in the 1970s. Louie Simmons had broken his back. He needed to get back into training, so he decided to create this device that would allow him to table so he could swing his
6.5 hours later.
So that is the Westside Scout Hyper. Louie Simmons is an absolute beast. And now let's get into the review. Follow me. As you can see, I currently have the Scout Hyper set up nice and gently up against the wall. And the reason is, and this is the biggest factor, the biggest cool factor about the Westside Hyper, is that it folds up from a nice tabletop standing desk into something that's out of the way. There are other reverse hypers that are on the market that can fold away. PRX Performance has one in particular. However, they're extremely expensive. They're not authorized or in collaboration with at all with Westside Barbell, the creators of it, but this one is. This is the Scout Hyper. Let me show you how it works. You take it off. It's somewhat heavy for 1,200 pound deadlifters like me. It feels, like nothing, but I would say it's about 75 pounds maybe a little bit more. So the way that it works is when you want to lock it in, it's very seamless. You just pull up on these handles. I put my foot here. You can separate it out and then it locks in. You then take these little knobs right here. They actually have these pins in here so you can lock them out or lock them in. Whenever you want to lock it, you pull it, twist it 45 degrees, put it in, and then make sure your legs are stable. You do the same on the other side, locks in, and you are now good to go. Now, I want to address some of the questions that are going to come about, and in particular, one of the most asked questions that we saw on Instagram on our posts for people, and that was, how stable is it? Now, I've used the RH2 from Rogue Fitness. I actually have it up at the gym. I've used some of the Westside Barbell versions. I've owned the HP&D from Titan Fitness. I've used the PRX model. I've used the Economy HP&D from Titan. I've used the Sorenex Frankenhyper. I've used the Bells of Steel reverse hammer. I've got it at the gym. I've used, basically what I'm saying is I've used pretty much all of them. So I have an idea of how stable they are. This is not the most stable version that's out there. In fact, I would say it's the most unstable version of the ones I've used. The only one that was more unstable than this one was the previous version of the Scout Hyper that Westside Barbell had, made by somebody else. That said, that doesn't mean I don't think it's good, okay? The reason that it's more unstable is, one, it's using 1x2 steel or 1x3 steel, a lot thinner profile steel. Even if it's an 11 gauge, it's a lot lighter, it's a smaller top, and the leg length that it is a lot smaller area, so it's not taking up as much real estate. So for a home gym, that's a benefit. Mega powerlifters out there that are 300 pounds and worried about this thing flopping all over, I don't want to say you should necessarily be worried that it's going to flop, but it's not nearly as stable as the others. So as you can see, barely touching it, it goes side to side. Now that doesn't really matter because the pendulum goes forward and back it's a lot more stable, but it's not going to be as stable as those super heavy units. However, what you're sacrificing in stability, you're increasing in portability, which is why I think, honestly, just kind of give you an idea here, I think this is the best type of reverse hyper for most home gym owners. That doesn't mean I think it's the best for everybody or I think it's the best one that's made or anything like that, but this sort of unit is the best for most home gym owners. Now I do want to talk about something real quick. So you can see this logo, Westside Barbell. As you can see, there is nowhere on here that says Rogue Fitness. I don't see any part of this that says Rogue Fitness, yet this is made by Rogue Fitness products. So I'll talk about this more maybe in a future video, But I kind of think that this is a separate kind of line for Rogue Fitness where, let's say, you know, like Ford has Lincoln and, you know, some of these other lines. I think they own Jaguar too. They may not own them anymore. But they have like Ford and Lincoln, right? And they're like these different levels of products. I think this is maybe like a new like type of line for Rogue. So Rogue Fitness has Rogue Fitness line. They have like the Echo line. And now they have the Westside Barbell line. Now, this is a Rogue Fitness, like made or manufactured in some way by Rogue Fitness, but it's not made in Ohio by Rogue Fitness. It's made probably in a similar factory as the Rogue Echo bike, which you'll remember the Rogue Echo bike is made in China, and this is not a made in the USA product. This is made in China. Now, that doesn't mean it's not good. It's just, it's not the level of all their other products, but it's also not the price of all their other products. But I showed you kind of how it works. If you look under the bed a little bit, you can see the tracks a little bit better. So they have these tracks that these are what the legs run along. So once it snaps in, it's pretty much good to go. And then it has this pendulum that is a shorter pendulum, but one of the biggest like negative factors of the old Scout Hyper from Westside was it was not set up for Olympic plates, whereas this uses 2-inch Olympic pegs that are like plastic coated or something. It's not metal or chrome or anything like that. However, it's not powder coat, so it's not going to scar, but this allows you to use standard plates. Now, for you guys that are using like high temp bumper plates or something like that, you are going to hate this machine because you cannot load it up very heavy. Even guys that are using competition bumpers. And once you throw these on and you allow some room for collars, you're going to see that there really isn't room for any more plates. So if you're somebody that's using powerlifting calibrated plates, this is a better machine. However, if you can afford calibrated plates, you're probably not too worried about the price for reverse hypers. And then the strap is a Spud Inc. belt type strap, not made by Spud Inc. It's probably made in China too, that attaches at the bottom. You lock in just like you do any other. You can also use the step here to get up. I like to typically put one foot in, step up, then put my other foot in, and then I'm able to go. So just to show you kind of how it rocks, I'll do a few rips. As you can see, the front legs are coming up nearly every rep. And that's not a crazy amount of weight. Louie Simmons recommends, I think, doing about 50% of your max back squat. My max back squat's about 465, so I would actually do more than that. If I was using calibrated plates, I could put it on there. Iron plates, you may be able to put a little bit more on there, but that's kind of what you're looking at as far as weight capacity. But you noticed, one of the big things I don't like about this is these front legs come up. Now, this could be mitigated if they allowed us to put weight on these front legs. So what I would have liked to see, and sometimes it's like I'm critiquing these things and giving improvements, and I feel bad because it's like I don't know how to fix it. I just see a problem, and the problem is that these front legs come up, and the only thing I can think of to fix it is to either extend these legs out, which would make it less compact, or to allow weight to be secured here on these front legs so these front legs could be secure and it not rock back and forth so much. So if you're somebody that's like super heavy, like you're a 300-pound power lifter or something, this is probably not what I would suggest for you. I weigh 185. I know I look like I'm probably 260, you know, absolutely jacked and shredded, but sorry, the internet lies to you. I'm about 185. But then I've got the weight on here and it's about 200 pounds. So like that's the reality of the situation. However, for most home gym owners, most people in the world are not that heavy. Most people in the world are just trying to lift for health. This is a device they're trying to use to improve their health. And so this is how it works. At $350 plus about $50 shipping, this is cheaper than the cheapest Titan version, which is not done in collaboration. Rogue's giving some sort of credit back to Westside, both in clout and dollars, I would assume. So you're supporting the creator, which is something, you know, I mean, I'm definitely into. It's not made in the USA, but for 350 bucks with 50 bucks shipping, it's a great deal. The only other thing I want to comment on is this handle system here. You'll see, like, this is great for most people, but they did give you the option for have extra handles, and that's using these holes that are on here. And basically you can add handles so you can shorten the range of motion for your hands. I don't foresee most people needing that. Even, you know, small people can come and get it. But then other than that, the top is not as nice, although it does feel like similar vinyl to the other reverse hyper from Rogue, the RH2. It just doesn't have as thick a foam. However, this curvature, which is where a lot of pain comes for most people, it's fine. It's firm, but it's soft enough that it's not gonna leave, like, you know, bruises on your hips, which some of the cheaper reverse hypers can do. So it's nice. They've obviously thought this through. They've done it with, you know, Louie, but the biggest benefit is if you don't have a lot of space and you want a reverse hyper, this is a great option for most home gym owners, because most home gym owners don't need the heavy duty, like, you know, reverse hyper that takes up a ton of space and you only use for one movement, and then the rest of the time it just sits drinks on there, use it as standing desk. That's what happens with most reverse hypers. It's one of the reasons I got rid of mine in my garage gym and put it in the regular gym, just because it didn't get enough use for the amount of space it was taking up. So this is an awesome compromise. I just kind of wish it was made in the US, because it's not like a complicated product like, you know, the Echo bike. It's a basic, you know, piece of equipment, but I guess they wanted to hit the price point, so I understand. So this has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. Would you get the Westside Hyper? Although you've seen kind of some of the issues with the rocking, you know, not so much side to side, but that forward and back rock, I think that could turn some people off. But for me, honestly, it feels secure enough that I'm probably going to keep this in the gym and use it often. But if that's big enough turn off, let me know in the comments. We'll see you next time.